Welcome back to the session on how to improve your body language. We stopped with gestures and I said I will continue with dress and appearance. Now, dress and appearance is one aspect of our body language which we spend an inordinate amount of time and money to perfect, because majority of us, I won't talk about those who hate shopping and who hate to get dressed up and buy something nice, but the large number of people do spend a lot of time and energy thinking about how they dress and how they appear before others. I'm not saying that everybody wants to look like a film star and everyone wants to appear attractive, but everyone has an idea of what image they want to convey to others. They have a certain profile of themselves, a certain self-image, and they dress and groom themselves in a manner that their dress and appearance conforms or reflects or corroborates that self-image. When that image doesn't match, we are shocked. For instance, you expect a professor to dress in a certain way, and suppose in a very formal way, let's say, and if that professor appears dressed in a very cool, hip, youthful style, you would feel slightly surprised, and it'd be something unexpected for you. So normally we expect people to conform, to dress in a way that conforms to the profession they practice, their age, their regional location, and so on. So let's think of the most famous example. Now, one of the most iconic image that we have in history is that of the founder of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. And what is the image that comes to your mind when you think of Mahatma Gandhi? You think of Mahatma Gandhi in the loincloth. Okay. Now, this is not the way Gandhiji dressed in his youth or in his early years, but towards later, after he joined the nationalist movement, and he began to sport the loincloth in protest. It was a kind of gesture to identify himself with the poor in the country and to say that they could not afford to own anything more than that. Now, this was a grand statement that Gandhiji was making through wearing the loincloth, by showing that he empathized with the poor, and to express, to metaphorically convey the image of people in poverty, and the poverty that was brought in by colonialism. So this is an excellent example of how one may use dress and appearance, one's dress, one's appearance, to project a certain image of oneself. What is important is that this image should conform to how people see us. It should also conform to how we want to project ourselves. And the problem lies when there's a mismatch with the image we want to project and the image we end up projecting. So there's nothing right or wrong about dress and appearance. There's only a question of what is appropriate. And now, dress at the conscious level, it's bigger than you think. In dress and appearance, there are two aspects. One is the conscious aspect, and the second part is the uncontrolled aspect. What is the controlled aspect and what is the uncontrolled aspect? Now, most of us can control how we groom ourselves, the kind of outfits you wear, or the way you sport, the kind of hairstyle you have, or whether you wear glasses or don't wear glasses. So that's a conscious choice. That's a conscious aspect of dress and appearance. At the same time, there is a unconscious, I wouldn't use the word unconscious, I would say uncontrolled aspect of dress and appearance, which is beyond your capacities. For instance, the kind of body shape you have, whether you're tall or you're small built, you're petite or you're obese, or you're large or you're small. Those are things which are inherited. There's not much you can do about it. Of course, yes, you can launch on a fitness, you can embark on a fitness program and become size 0 from being obese, but that's a choice you make. But there's certain aspects of our appearance which we can't control, like our height, like our body weight, the build we have. So those aspects are not controllable. Similarly, if you happen to have poor eyesight, you would have to wear glasses, and if you wear glasses, people somehow associate yourself with being very brainy and intellectual, even though you're not. So we have these stereotypes of people who wear glasses because they read and write a lot. They must be very intellectual, they must be very erudite. Now that's something you cannot help. If you happen to wear glasses, you happen to wear glasses. But of course you can help it these days by choosing to wear contact lenses instead of wearing glasses. So these choices are made consciously, or there are some choices which are not within our control. Nevertheless, whether it's the conscious aspect of our dress and grooming or the part of our dress and grooming which cannot be controlled, they do have an impact on people who are watching us. They create a certain image, or they create a certain profile of us in the minds of others. It may be a very stereotyped image, or it may be a very stereotyped profile, but people do form images of the others or profiles of others based on the way they dress or the way they appear. Now, I would first go into what should we do to be able to dress for success. You never have a chance to make a first impression. This is a quote from an unknown person, because the second time you may not have a chance to. The first impression is the last impression, and very often, think about yourself, you have an image of a person you met for the first time, and that seems to be the lasting image in your mind. The first impression is the last impression, and if you come to think of it, that first impression was formed on the basis of the way that person appeared, and in that appearance the most important component was their dress and their grooming. The apparel often proclaims the man, as William Shakespeare so aptly put it. It takes less than 5 seconds to form a first impression. So whenever we see a person, within the first 30 seconds, not 5 seconds I would say, within the first 30 seconds we form an impression about that person. We construct a profile of the person related to their social status, whether a person is rich or poor, which class of society that person belongs to, their health, the education level, the intelligence, the ambition, all on the basis of the first impressions. And how are you judged when people make first impressions about you? As we said right at the beginning, is the visual aspect of your appearance, the body language and your appearance, which is 55%, the way you talk, the way the words are only 7%. The rest of the first impression you make is entirely, half of it is on the basis of your appearance and your body language. So studies show that it can take 21 repeated good experiences with a person to make up for a bad first impression. That's why you realize people are so careful when they appear in public or when they're meeting someone for the first time. They try their best. They try their best to make sure that they give the best impression about themselves when they're meeting a person for the first time. In the subsequent meetings, maybe they can allow themselves to be themselves, but in the first time, usually people are very careful about the way they appear before others, before strangers. Now, personal image, every person has a personal image. It's the tip of the iceberg. Only a fraction shows. Your image has the power to attract or to repel others. Take advantage of a personal image, make it a walking advertisement. Now, I'll go back to what you can do to make sure that you are well groomed. But before that, let me see how those who are in power can break the rules, whereas those who are still climbing the social ladder cannot afford to break the rules. So normally you expect a person who belongs to a certain class and who has a certain status to dress in a certain way. But when you achieve name and fame and wealth, you can afford to break the rules. Think of the painter Hussain, who would walk barefoot and who was denied admission into an elite club in Kolkata because he had no footwear, and the club had its rules that no one who was barefoot would be allowed inside the club. So normally now with the again in business dressing, we expect people to dress formally, and usually young aspirants are told that don't take any chances when you are appearing in a important interview, or you're making an important presentation, or it's an important occasion for you. Very often we try to play it safe and we follow the coded rules that we wear dull shades of grey and black. We err on the right side by wearing formal attire, by wearing a full shirt or a jacket. But when one has already achieved what one has needed to achieve, it's possible for one to break the rules and make a statement just by breaking the rules. I recall this occasion where our chairman of our board of governors received a very prestigious award from the government of India, and the entire institute had gathered to felicitate the gentleman for his great achievement. Now, most of us came dressed very formally because it was a very solemn occasion, and we befitting the occasion, all of us dressed in a very formal manner, including our director. But when our chief guest arrived, guess what he was dressed in? Instead of wearing a three-piece suit, which would be of course ridiculous in this weather when it's 42 degrees in April, instead of even wearing a formal shirt, a sober formal shirt, which a winner of Bharat Ratna would be expected to wear, this gentleman, who was one of the top honchos for one of the biggest steel industries in India, came dressed in a pink and blue Hawaii shirt. Now, when you are in that position, you are a CEO of a company, you are in the top notch, you are counted among the top notch managers in the whole country, you can afford to break rules and wear a Hawaii shirt to a very formal occasion, and you can make a statement saying, look, I might be big, I might occupy a very high position, but I like to dress informally, and I'm like one of you, I'm like the students or whatever. So you can afford to make a statement. But at the beginning of your career, or when you're not so well known, maybe it's not a very good idea to take chances and break the rules. So let's look at some of the conscious and unconscious aspects of dress and appearance. Hands clean with limited jewelry, clean and well manicured fingernails, watch usually worn on the left side, correct time, belt should be the same color as shoes, belt, did you put it to all the loops, belt length should be 5 inches longer than your waist, pants iron, pants button front and back, shoes shine, shoes same color as belt, most important your smile. Now I've got these figures of dress codes for men ranging from streetwear to casual to summer casual to smart casual to business informal and black tie semi-formal. So there's a range and there's nothing wrong. You cannot dress in a three-piece suit to the beach. You would be expected to wear streetwear or beach wear on the beach. Or if you're going shopping for groceries, nobody is expecting to wear a three-piece suit or a smart casual. You need to wear something in which you're more comfortable and you can get the work done. So like in everything else, there is no hard and fast rule about dress and appearance. It's what is appropriate and what's not appropriate. Now I come to the section on voice and delivery. Voice and delivery we'll be doing in great detail, but I'll quickly skim through this by asking you a few questions. Do you know what kind of voice do you have? Haven't you heard people saying that some people have a good voice, other people do not have a good voice? Do you merely speak, or does your voice resonate? Do you speak in a monotone or vary your delivery? How do you sound when you speak on the phone? Your voice is related to your personality. Your voice and vocal variety say a lot about you. Your voice transmits energy. 84% of your message, not 84, 38% of your message is vocal. As we saw earlier, only 55% is visual, 38% is vocal, and only 7% of your message is verbal. The sounds of words are more important than the words themselves. So when you are speaking, use vocal variety, don't read. Let's come to non-words. What are non-words? Non-words are words which we tend to use when we are stuck for words, when we fumble for words, and we return to a word which is our favorite non-word to fill up the gaps whenever we are stuck for words, and these are called non-words. Now you need to find out what is your favorite non-word. My favorite non-word is so. Since I teach, very often whenever I am stuck, I find myself saying so. But I know people who use the word non-word, you know, I see, I mean, like. Youngsters, especially high school girls, tend to use the word like. Every sentence of theirs is peppered with a number of likes, whereas older people tend to use you know, you see, I know, I see, so, but they're more colorful non-words as well. Such I can think of them in Hindi rather than in English, like क्या नाम लेते हैं? In Punjabi it's की ना लेता है. And I remember my favorite uncle, every sentence of his would be interspersed with his favorite non-word, or takya kalam as we put it in Hindi, की ना लेता है. And we need to know, what is your favorite non-word? What is your takya kalam? In Rushdie's novel Midnight's Children, Rushdie memorably captures this habit of takya kalam among Asian people, among South Asian people, by having the grandmother's character use the takya kalam, what's its name. So at every sentence, the grandmother intersperses it or peppers it with so many what's its names that it's difficult to understand what she's saying. So takya kalam can be very interesting, non-words can be interesting, but they are not interesting when they impede the understanding of what you are saying. If you say a single sentence and you have 10 I means in it, then you know you're asking for trouble. So please watch out for your favorite non-word. Do you use technical words or jargon? Yes, most of us are guilty of using technical words or jargon because in our intellectual sphere, in our professional sphere, we find that it works like a shorthand to get our message across to our colleagues, and it also gives us intellectual pleasure to be indulging in these technical words or jargon so as to distance ourselves, to differentiate ourselves from people who are not familiar with these words, and it's a way of saying we belong, we who use these words belong together. But when we are speaking to people who are not from our field, and we use very complex words which are everyday words in our field. For instance, in the area I work, there's a word which people tend to use very often, like you're talking about this is the discourse of race is imbricated with the discourse of slavery. Now, the word imbricated is used in a very formal manner, and it's become part of the vocabulary of post-colonial theory. But if you use the word imbricated in everyday use, people are wondering, what on earth are you talking about? What is imbricated? Why can't you say that? Why can't you say that it's interlinked or it's interwoven or connected? Instead of that, why do you have to choose such a difficult word like imbricated? Do you use slang? Young people in particular, youth, students, tend to be more guilty of using slang. The reason being that in campuses, in schools, among a certain peer group, certain age group, it's a password to belonging. If you know the slang of your particular geographical region or of your class, your peer group, it helps you to gain admission into that group, and it's a way of saying, I belong to this group. Now, while it might sound very cool in a particular situation, and it may brand you with as a member of a particular group or class, when you use it outside that group, it can be extremely irritating. I am not going to go into the more well-known slang which is global in nature, such as the slang used by American school kids, which has percolated to the rest of the world through Hollywood films and music and so on, and gossip magazines and tabloids and so on. But let me introduce you to the slang used by the students of IIT Kharagpur, which is different from the slang of other campuses, because it's known only to, unlike a global slang or the slang of hip hop culture or rap culture, this is a slang which is a nerdy slang of the elite educated youth of India, the creme de la creme of India's students who enter the hallowed gates of IITs. They have invented their own slang, which makes sense only to themselves and to each other, not to others. So I'm totally lost when I'm in my class and I find people saying peace, and I say, okay, what on earth? Why are we at war? Why should we have peace? But then I find people exchanging lances, which suggests that they're talking about a different kind of peace altogether. Or I hear words like avoid, dhap, fatta, words which are borrowed from Hindi, from English, from Bengali and other local languages, to create a code which is understood only by students of all the IITs or a particular IIT. So that's an example of slang, and that's an excellent way of belonging, to say, well, I am now an elite member of the IIT. But when others hear it, it's extremely irritating because it's not a very sophisticated language. Do you use pause? That's a question you have to ask, and the use of pause is related to the use of non-words. Whenever we are stuck for words, we tend to use non-words. Instead, if we were to use pause, it would be more effective. The reason is that when we pause, it creates the impression that we are thinking about something, we are deliberating. Whereas we tend to use a non-word thinking that the pause is awkward for the other person. So instead of a non-word, use pause. How long do you pause? Do you pause for effect? We'll go into each of these individual features in the units that follow, but I'm briefly introducing you to the elements of voice and delivery. And finally, we come to the natural self. Just be yourself. You don't want to be someone else. Just think, Amir Khan cannot be Salman Khan, and Salman Khan cannot be Shah Rukh Khan. Whenever they try to be each other, they fail miserably, because the romantic hero, the image of the romantic hero is so ingrained in the minds of their fans that if you try to be an action hero, the movie flops. Similarly, if the action hero tries to be a romantic hero, it doesn't work. So just be yourself, acknowledge your strengths and weaknesses and live with them. Convert your weaknesses into your strengths. Instead of wistfully longing for something you don't possess, just be yourself. Make the best of your strengths. Learn like a juggler, because communicating is not a one day but a lifelong affair. And I'll conclude with paralanguage. Paralanguage means short sounds that are used to show your feeling. For example, we say ouch to express pain. Ouch, I hit my finger with the hammer. What sounds and body language do you use in your language to express these ideas? I'm going to set you an assignment where I'm going to ask you, how do you do this? Thank you.